la la la, hey ya da di di da da, na na na, oh la 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 la, ya 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 da di da di da, ya la 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 di da da, ah di da, di ah yeah 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 ma 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 la 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 ya la 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 di da di di da 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 la di di da 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 di da di da da di di da di da one more time bam bam ba da dum bam 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 la 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 hey ya na la 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 oh la 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 ya 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 la la ya ya Welcome, welcome. On this beautiful chapter here in Sefer Yichud Hitbodedut from Avram Tzvi Kuluger. This chapter is called Havanat Mama Lashon Shebehitbodedut, understanding what it is to speak your mother tongue in English and in Yiddish. I don't know other languages that if they call the langue maternelle in French, I know. It's also your mother. It's a very interesting thing, right? Very, very interesting thing. And he's going to speak about the motherliness of it, the way a child speaks to their mother, particularly. And Rabbi Nachman Hine Noida, Sherabeinu HaKadosh Yasad as Hitbodedut. The Rabbi Nachman, when he founded, Hitbodedut existed before him. But when he made it into a thing that Rabbi Nachman's like on your shoulder, demanding you every day to be doing his Hitbodedut, which nobody else ever did. And this way, he's in a certain way, to me anyway, I feel that makes him the closest human being in the world to me, of anyone. Because whoever's telling me to do this really cares about me. Right? That's the Gevura. The deepest love comes through Gevura. Incredible thing. Topic for in itself. But Rabbeinu Yasad, today's is such a episode. Yasad is Hitbodedut when he founded, meaning made it into something that brought it into our language as a thing. Not just as like, oh yeah, old school prayer before Anshe Knesset Hagadola, before the men of the Great Assembly put together the Shemon Esrei and set the order of what the Siddur looks like. Before that, of course, and we all know we can always talk to God, but person who founded it as a thing, as a language is so unbelievably important in terms of culture, in terms of what we think of as a thing, for it to become something that our mind stops at, a rest stop for the mind. There's no word for it. It's not called out as a practice, as a thing, and particularly here as a daily practice. So you can call it Yasad. So Shatia Sicha ben Kono B'Lashon Shu Ragil Bo. One of the Rabbi Nachman, in his very beginning of describing it, said it should be in the language that you're most used to. It should be in your Mama Lashon. Hanikras Fatem, Mama Lashon, Long Baternel, mother tongue. There's got to be some other good ones. But I think most languages, I wonder how they say it in Japanese. But in any case, I once heard that the word for mother in almost every language has an M sound in it, which is fascinating.
We don't.
Oh no, in Hungarian it's not.
M.
N.
Onyu. People call them mama, but that maybe came from other languages. Yeah, onyu. Interesting. Wow. That's Hungarian. Fine. But how do you say mother? How do you say the language that you grew up called
M,
mother?
M and N are always considered interchangeable when it comes to these kind of things.
Oh yeah, M and N are interchangeable.
Yes. So
But Hungarian is Magyaro, no? The Hungarian is, when you refer to Hungarian, like their mother tongue is Magyaro. So it is starting with an M. The mem
Magyaro?
sounds. Yeah.
That's the name of the language.
Yeah.
talking about the meaning of mother. How do you pronounce mother in Hungarian? You said it's onyu.
It's onyu, yeah.
But the M and nun and M and N are always interchangeable. Just like P and B are interchangeable. So it's not so far.
Okay. But how would you say the language you grew up with? Like mother tongue. Oh, you would say onyo. You put mother onto it, right? Even in Hungarian, you put mother onto the language that you grew up with. Super fast. Oh yeah, Rabbi Fink is a genius. He's fluently reads and speaks at least 8 languages, which is
with us in Hungarian.
Oh, it's off the charts. It's off. His French is also impeccable. Yeah. No, it's crazy. His
hobby is Latin. Listening to the news in Latin on shortwave radio.
Where does that get broadcast from? Like Rome or something? Okay. Anyways, so Uvimakaimam Diba B'Lashon Ashkenaz, where Rabbi Nachman lived, they spoke in Yiddish. V'katav Sivnei Ashkenaz, and so he said to, for we who live in Yiddish-speaking lands, the Hashem Safazu, so we should talk to him in that language. Around here, he's going to bring a bunch of sources that's worth it for us to see them. In the footnote, he has a big footnote. First of all, the Rebbe says in Torah 120, in Likutei Moran, second section Likutei Moran, Tinyana, that when you daven in the language that you speak, that your mind is used to speaking in, as I halev samuch v'davuk, me'od v'dibur hatfila, your heart is going to be much closer and connected to the words that you're saying. If you have to take an extra step of kind of translating and formalizing things, then the heart will be distant from it. The heart will be distant from it. You can connect yourself much more to Hashem. And here it brings a few other sources in this footnote. Let's learn these. Likutei Moran, second section, Torah 25, which is the main place where Rabbi Nachman speaks about his Buddhists. There are many places that I don't know what's called the main place, but it's one of the most important places. Torah 25 in the second section, and it quotes it. But Tefillah v'sitpa zu yeh b'lashon shedavrim. This davening and conversing should be in the language that you speak in. The Hainu b'lashon Ashkenaz v'nidasenu, which in our language would be Yiddish. Lashon hakodesh kashelo, because in Hebrew, unless you're Israeli, kashelo lefaresh kol sichato. It's hard to really say everything, with the nuance and in a complete way. And most importantly, the heart is not going to be drawn after the words, because your mind is not used to this language. Because our way is not to speak Hebrew. He's talking about in Ukraine 200 years ago. But we who are speaking Yiddish, call the both, to break your heart. To really, really, like a light stick. Remember those? You grew up with those? I think those sticks, you go, and then it starts to shine, right? Break your heart, the best way. Call the it's much easier and closer to to just break your heart. Because the heart is drawn after and closer to the language that you speak. In his case, Yiddish, because you're used to it. Because it could say everything you need to say. That everything that's in your heart, you can converse, you can say it out, speak it out before Hashem. Shivchei Haran is the biography that Rav Nosson wrote of Rabbi Nachman, section 10, Otz Yud. This is something Rabbi Nachman did himself as a child, as he was growing up throughout his life. Talk to Hashem in Yiddish. He would daven and make all kinds of arguments, utchinos, pleadings, ubakashas, requests, that came out of his own mind and heart. That Hashem should merit, give him the merit to serve. And Rabbi Nachman said this is the main thing that made him into Rabbi Nachman, was doing that. Full transparency. When I got here, here's how.
It's like Hitbodedut made Rabbi Nachman.
Yeah.
Hitbodedut got him.
Yeah.
And then
Exactly.
he made Hitbodedut.
And then he made his
He gave it over to the world.
That's right.
Rabbi Wonder, could you speak a little bit, I don't know, like clear? It's not fault.
I'm reading it a bit quickly because I just don't want to get stuck on the sources, but okay. Kach shamanu mipiv hakadosh beferush. So we heard from his mouth, his holy mouth, explicitly, that this is what got him to where he got to. Ulukute Eitzos. Ulukute Eitzos is a later collection of the advice that come out from Likutei Moran, and he also brings from Likutei Halachos. Katav Iker Hachnas v'Shviras Kol HaTaivas, the main way to subdue and break all of the compulsivities, desires of the body, Al Yedei Ribui HaDiburim HaKadoshim Shem Torah Tefillah, is through lots of talking, also Torah, and also prayer, and Sicha Lebeinu Leven Kona, between you and your Maker. V'afal pi Shem Mesiach U'Medaber Beinu Leven Kona V'Lashon Ashkenaz Shem Medabrim Bo Mineseinu. And even when you're speaking in your own language, in their case Yiddish, whatever language that you grew that you're used to in your country, hu gamken bichlal lashon hakodesh, it's also called. It's considered holy language. It's considered like Hebrew. Ki adraba beinu levein kono tzarich davka ledaber b'lashon shemedabrim bo. It has a holiness and intimacy, closeness. Don't think that there's anything. A second class about speaking to Hashem in a different. That's what Rabbi Nachman himself did, and because it's what bonds us so much with Hashem, so it's like considered connected to and part of the holy language. Uvakdam Likutei Tfilas. Rav Nosson composed Likutei Tfilas, a prayer for most of the Torahs in Likutei Moran, each one, and they're incredibly beautiful and unbelievable. And he wrote a introduction to Likutei Tfilas, and in the introduction he said, "Sha'adam tzarich ledaber b'atzmo milibo b'lashon Ashkenaz b'chol yom v'yom." Right, that Likutei Tfilas is what he put together, which is in Hebrew, is a diving board, a very powerful and incredible and life-changing thing to sit and get into Likutei Tfilas. It can really help you. Nothing like it. For me, it's like eating spinach. Like it makes me like for Papa, suddenly like I can go beat up the Yetzer Hara. When I say Likutei Tfilas, it's atomic energy, and yet it's not meant. It's meant to help you in your Hitbodedut, not to replace the Hitbodedut in your own language. Shadam tzrich b'atzmo belibo. Person needs to speak on their own accord, from their heart, in their own language. B'chol yom v'yom kasher hisiran rabbeinu l'ivracha kamal pimis Rabbi Nachman warned us, told us to do it many times. L'faresh sichato lifnei Hashem yisbarach kol Hashem levavo, everything in your heart, in Yiddish or in your own language. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of sources about this. So now comes Rav Kluger. Umavad etzem pashtus hadavar. Aside from the simple essence of this thing of just speaking in whatever your mother's tongue is, yesh b'zeh gam omek havana. There's a depth of understanding what this is about. It's not just only the simple meaning of speaking in your own language. Shekasher katan medaber leimo. Right? Mother's tongue means because you learned how to speak basically from your mother, primary caregivers, etc. Then when a child speaks to their mother, poneh aleh lelo hagbalot, he turns to her with no limitations, doesn't filter his speech, right? levakesha chalo, to ask for what he needs. Omer b'pashtus, it says very simple, ra'ev anochi, mommy, I'm hungry. That's it, right? We probably hear that like every day in my house. We can like start dancing from hearing it because they're teaching us how to do Hitbodedut, right? Unbelievable. A simple thing. We're like, man, I have to talk, I have to make a whole Abba, I'm hungry. that directness, that unfiltered forwardness and yeah. The older that we get, right? The child gets the child has more and more of his own consciousness. So his language changes and it gets mixed up with first thinking about what he's going to say. The words are mixed with thoughts that come first, that's coming in and kind of slowing down the direct reaching out, the direct connectivity. It blurs it a bit.
Yeah.
Blurt. Right. We're talking about the goodness of blurting. It could be, like, in other words, we also learn etiquette and so on, and we learn that we have to be formal, etc. And it's not nice to just blurt things out. But when Rabbeinu said to these people, Mama Loshan, he means, yes, like when you're safe, you could do that. You could just blurt it out. And Adarabah, it's going to be better because in terms of the davening world, the more heart that you put into your words, that's what the Rebbe said in all these sources again and again and again, your heart will be closer, your heart will be connected, you'll be able to really mean what you say. So there's a positive regressing, right? To go back to a kind of communication that we don't, and it's true, because the way we speak to Hashem as adults should be different than the way we speak to people. Like we've said many times, there's only one healthy, even what's the word, proper and encouraged dependency, which is Hashem. We really are dependent. Every beat of our heart, everything, every second, we're completely dependent. We are totally, there's no like, maybe there's someone else helping me. It's Hashem every second. And so therefore that directness is there. And Hashem wants, the Chazal say, right? In the second paragraph of the Shema, Rashi brings from Chazal. What is this of Vavadatem b'chol levavchem? What does it mean to serve Hashem with your whole heart? What is this work of the heart? The tefillah is avodah shebalev. So it means that the main thing is your heart. So the blurting is the best. It's the best. They say that even though Rav Nosson, had this unbelievably gifted genius of, if you look in Likutei Halachos, it's sparkling language and it's complex and nuanced and everything. But Chassidim say that there's much more of Rav Nosson in Likutei Tfilas than there is in Likutei Halachos. As Heilig and Rav Nosson said, Likutei Halachos is God's Gan Eden, whatever that means. God's Gan Eden is the Likutei Halachos beyond. Because Hashem's so excited that this is going to help people make things real, make Avodas Hashem real in the world. But the Likutei Tfilas says, all the Chassidim say is higher because it's tear stained. It came straight, much straighter out, and in a certain way, even you can. And the main thing with it is to daven it. But when you're learning Likutei Moran, people don't do this. Open Likutei Tfilas; it will help you understand Likutei Moran in an amazing way. It brings it to the immediacy. That's the word I've been looking for. The immediacy of what this is telling me to do, how it's lighting up my desire for avodas Hashem and bringing me closer, is dafka Negutei Tfilas. Let me check if somebody's asking for the no. So as a person grows up, he's saying there's a mixture of thought into too much into our speaking. It's good for being a nice civilized person, right? But in these Hitbodedut, don't have to be so. The immediacy is the main thing, right? Lo yamar hayom davar shehistor et ma shamar emes, right? So because of that, we're concerned about contradicting ourselves. Maybe yesterday I said this, so how can I say this now today? We get tied up in knots because of that. We said one thing to someone, we weren't even really sure when we were saying it, and then the next day, like, we're embarrassed to say, actually, maybe it's not really like that, and we defend it, and then you get stuck in this thing. It's not really me. Like, all these Michigan things happen to us. I won't say what I really want to say tomorrow because I'm held back by what I said yesterday. Right now, my heart is telling me to say it. Sometimes we just silence ourselves completely. We just edit ourselves right out. Maybe, if I put myself out there, if I'm too vulnerable, etc., maybe I will get caught up and stuck in it and
stuck to stock.
Stuck to stock. It'll cause some kind of uncomfortable thing. So better to just not say. Better to just hold back. And other kinds of examples that you can imagine. But that whole world of cheshbonos, of calculations, and should I say, should I not say? I'm going to contradict what I said yesterday, etc. None of these are present in the world of the child, right? Keep coming back, childlike, right? And then we go back to healthy cutness. Homer b'pashtus. This is very simple. Aseli, do this for me. Eli koach. I don't have strength. Can't do it. Eli klum. I don't have anything. Or they just cry, they burst into tears, This is what mother's tongue means. Means to say the simple truth, where you're actually at now, right? Sfat hove bepashtus, the language of the present with simplicity. We're learning this a bit a few weeks ago. I think I mentioned this from Rabbi Kivek, that he says, Hashem sfatai tiftach. People just read that line as if it's just part of the Shemona Esrei. They're just pressing play. Hashem, open my mouth. He says, but it's like, it's the deepest of the deep. Hashem sfatai tiftach means you have to be in touch with where you are at now and say, Hashem, open my mouth from here, from where I'm at physically, emotionally, economically, health-wise, etc. And then your davening will be real, and it won't just be pressing play, right? So deep. And he says, when you really do that, then you'll start dancing, because that's the 3 steps back, and the 3 steps forward is a rikud. Amazing. The rikud of Hashem's Fasai Tiftach Ufi Gidul Etzach. So beautiful. Oh my gosh. So Mama's Torah, it's like Mama's the Kesher HaMaimer in one sentence. Oh, because he says, like, most people, we don't think that we can be at home. It's about being feel b'vchinas bayis, Hamish, at home with our talking to Hashem, at home with it. We think we have to be formal, right? Hashem Tiftach is this same thing. Open which tongue? The mother's tongue. The way I speak to my mother, the simple talking. And he puts in here also in brackets, because like we know, like this whole book is all about how healing his brothers is healing all of our relationships. Torah. It's also true in terms of the essential mitzvah of learning Torah. Lomod im ulaman noiset haTorah to learn with and for the sake of the giver of the Torah, Hashem. Shekasher omrim belimud Amar Hashem Yisbarach, which this I heard from Rav Daniel Cohen from Batayin, who was a Talmud of Rav Gustman. Rav Gustman. Here we have the Netzach Yisrael Shul. Is that right? In Rechavia, where they have brisim there and stuff. Is it called Netzach Yisrael? Where they do brisim. It's a beautiful shul in Rechavia, and there's a yeshiva there. Netzach Yisrael, right? Yeah. So Rav Gustman,
He was from England. Right?
he was. I don't know where he was from originally. I think he was. He might have been, but he certainly learned under Rav. No, I have his picture in my head. I can't think of the name. He did the great Hosek, the Achiezer. His shut is called Achiezer, and his name is. He has this picture of him like this, with this beautiful smile. What's his name? Rav Chaim Oizer Grodzinski's. He was on Rav Chaim Oizer Grodzinski's base din when he was 18. Rav Gustman. Unbelievable Torah giant, and he came to Yerushalayim, and Rav Daniel learned under him. And he said every time that he read the Gemara in Shir, he began with Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Amar Rava. Like that was how he would talk every time. So beautiful. You need rabbis like that. Right, Hashem said. So they're bringing it here. Ama Hashem Yisbarach. Harezem murgash b'yoser. When you're learning, he's bringing this as an eitzah. Say Ama Hashem Yisbarach before everything Hashem said, and then say the pasuk or the whatever. Harezem murgash b'yoser shemidaber atal achibor l'kodesh baruch hu ma'omak pashnus atumas anefesh. That it brings that in your heart that there's a connection happening right now. That's what Torah really is. Keyelet hamsaper. Avi Amar, Imi Amar, like a child who says, my father said, my mother said, right? There's a simple immediacy and presence that you can bring into your learning by always prefacing it with Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So beautiful. Shavuos. Shavuos. Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So it continues. Imisha en makim kedebai. If I'm speaking to someone that I don't know so well, so I come, I'm meeting the bank manager, and I need a $50 million loan. I better have arguments and the whole thing, everything's set up, right? And if you get what you asked for, so then you thank them. And that's part of how it works. To ask that you ask before, then you get it, and then you thank. But when a child's with their parent, with their father, here he's talking. You can ask in any way that you want. If your father's the bank manager, whole another story. Oh, another story. You also don't always say thank you right away. Yes, but because it's not necessary to send a thank you note to your father. Of course, the thanks has to be there, but it can be implied. It can be just part of the presence of the joy of being together. Tmidi, the lo pasik, it's a connection that is constant, it doesn't end. Not like I'm saying goodbye, so say thank you. So it is true that the Shemon Esrei and the way that the tefillah was set up in the Siddur, here he quotes also from the Torah 120, the men of the Great Assembly set the tefillah, standardized, right? Seder HaTefillah, canonized, yes. Because not every person is able to formulate. And in fact, one of the things you look in the Rambam, I think at the beginning of Hilchas Brachas, or at the beginning of Hilchas Tefillah, I forgot, maybe Brachas, the Rambam says that exile causes us to lose our connection to language in general. Because we're going from country to country, we don't speak anything so well. So it's hard for us to express ourselves, bichlal. So that's why the Anshe Knesset Agadola made this thing, because they saw that we were going to be going into a long exile in many, many countries. And so they gave us this ability to express ourselves. But of course, the essence is to be able to just express yourself, right? So therefore, of course, we have to. And Hitbodedut is not meant to replace or cancel Shachar Shmir Chamarav. And we have to daven according to that Seder. Baram Hitbodedut. But when it comes to Hitbodedut, we are not, and we're dafka not. There's no script. We don't have a Seder. What?
It's an anti-script.
Yeah.
It's like dafka.
Yeah.
Can't be don't formalize it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's there that this inner connectivity can be revealed and experienced. Now is the time to tell a story that the Rebbe said, and that happened with the Rebbe, and Reb Nosson wrote it in Chaim Moran, paragraph 439. In the very last Rosh Hashanah of Rebbe Nachman's life, the Rebbe's grandchild was with him. Shaya ben Shalosh Arba Shanim was 3 or 4 years old at the time. The Rebbe's sickness was heavy upon him. He was going to be dying, so he died. This is Rosh Hashanah, around Rosh Hashanah time, and he died on the 18th of Tishrei, just like 2.5 weeks later. And so he said to his grandson, Yisrael, his name was Yisrael, he's palel alai, daven for me, Hashem Yisbarach, that I should get healthy again. And the child said, God, lass der Seide sein gesinnt. God, let my Zaidi get better. The people that were there were laughing. That's exactly how you need to daven to Hashem. How could it be? How could you daven in any other way than this immediacy, this directness? Like a child to their father, and like a person to their friend, their close friend. Here I want to bring in a couple of other sources that this chapter brought to mind for me. One of them is in the Midrash Tehillim, to Tehillim 16. We have Avinu Melech says, Hashem Ata. Sorry, I didn't open it properly before. It's on the pasuk Shivisi Hashem Negdi Tamid. Shivisi Hashem Negdi Tamid is in Tehillim 16. I place Hashem before me always. Omar Rav. So Rav said, B'sha'ah she'mavarech, it's related to Hilchas Brachas. When a person makes a bracha, tzrich adam lamar Baruch atah Hashem. Ushmuel amar Baruch Hashem. Right? What does that mean? What's this machlokas? The Vilna Gaon explains in this. Rav wanted all of our blessings to be in the second person, right? Instead, we say like Baruch atah Hashem, Elokeinu Melech Olam, Sher Barata Pri Ha'etz, right? It doesn't switch into the third person in the middle, right? And and Shmuel said the whole bracha should be in the third person, lashon nistar. In every bracha, the whole bracha should be in the third person, like Baruch Hashem Elokeinu Melech L'Shem. No ata, Bore creates, right? It's all third person. What we do is in the middle of the bracha, we switch from first person to third person. There's a Rashba on this that says it's talking like there's the God that we can recognize, and there's the God we can only believe in, who's beyond, like, right? It's a very fascinating thing. Very fascinating thing. And so the Vilna Gaon says that the halacha follows half like Rav and half like Shmuel. Like the first part of the bracha is with Ata, and the second part we go into the third person. But there's one bracha that is completely only second person. We say it often. Anyone guess? What's the bracha that's kulo nochach?
Is it Shachianu?
No, it's a long bracha,
No. Asher
and it's an after bracha. Asher Yatzar is third person.
Right.
We say Asher Yatzarta, right? It's the second bracha in Birkat Hamazon, the bracha on Eretz Yisrael. When the whole thing is second person, and then you end it Baruch Atah Hashem ala Aretz v'ala Mazon. It doesn't switch into third person in the middle, right? Whereas Hazan et Hakol does. We would say Zanta et Hakol, or right, right. So it's a very, very beautiful thing that Eretz Yisrael. I forgot where I saw this first. Maybe from Rav Kook. I don't remember, but that Eretz Yisrael is the place where it's all direct. We pass it like Rav. It's completely only Nochach. It's all second person. So that's so beautiful, right? And that's like a certain way when you're doing Hitbodedut, wherever you are in the world. Your spot is an Eretz Yisrael kind of spot, right? Even if you're in the Chutzah, you're going to that place of Nochach. Another source is, they're bringing it here from Midrash Tanchuma, Parshas Yisro, section 16. But I looked it up here and I'm not finding it. Maybe because my eyes aren't. But in any case, it could be a different versions of the Tanchuma. But on the word Anochi, when Hashem said Anochi, right? The Midrash Tanchuma teaches that Anochi is an Egyptian word. An amazing thing. It's how you say I in Egyptian. Why? Because Hashem, right? I'll read to you here. It's from Chabad.org. That's from the Sikha of the Bavitcher Rebbe, who brings this midrash. This is what I was trying to look up the midrash, but the 10 Commandments encompass the entire Torah, right? And therefore they include all the mitzvahs. It's also why the 10 Commandments have exactly 620. Here it says 620 letters, which correspond to the 613 commandments of the Torah and the 7 commandments of the rabbinic commandments. And within the 10 commandments, the first 2 are all of the mitzvot aseh, all the positive and all the negative. And Anochi comes before because it's even higher and contains all of it, right? And the first word, just Anochi, contains the entire Torah. It refers to God's very essence. How is it then possible for the word Anochi to be of Egyptian origin? How can it possibly be the degrees of manifest godliness that can be alluded to by the names Yud-Ke, Vav-Ke, and Elokecha, which are Hebrew? Anochi Hashem Elokecha, Havaya Elokecha. How could it be that the word that is about the atzmus of Hashem, the very essence of God Himself, Mamish, is Egyptian? Question, I should go through this with you because it's kishmak. The question becomes even greater when you bear in mind the 70 languages are divided into various categories, and Egyptian is very lowly because it was like a very low, Ervat Haaretz, it's the lowest place. So how could it be? It's Hashem wanted that in the very beginning, that it should be immediately be known the purpose of giving the Torah. This is a good preparation for Shavuos. I didn't even plan You mustn't even think about Shavuos, but it's the revelation on Noichi, God's essence, was actually for the sake of the Egyptian tongue. That is to say, the ultimate intent about the Torah was to draw down holiness not only into the Hebrew language, but into other languages and even into the Egyptian. All the way down. My man, all the way. All the way in. If the divine intent, so the whole Torah is in that word, the very essence of godliness is in that word, it's an Egyptian word. Incredible. If the divine intent had been merely to draw holiness within an already holy tongue and sacred language, the formal world, right? Would have been necessary to utilize the awesome capacity that God revealed. The purpose of Matan Torah is the holiness of divine essence descend even to even the Egyptian language. Same is true on our service, in terms of our service as we seek to connect with God. The revelation of Enoch can be obtained and acquired specifically through the Egyptian tongue. We have to go to that informal, lowest language place within ourselves to connect to the very essence of godliness, Dafka, that way. Dafka, it's so amazing, right? As long as one does not descend to Egypt, if we keep ourselves out of there and we don't go there, we don't go there, it's okay, we're safe. Can say, Hashem, I'm starving over here. I'm whatever it is, I'm upset, I'm jealous. I'm Mina Meitza Karasi Ka Gavar. From the Egyptian. Right? As long as we don't go down to Egypt and merely occupy ourselves with higher things, no matter how lofty it may be, one can only attain the limited level of divine revelation that is symbolized by God's names, which are holy, Yud Kei Vav Kei, Elokim. But Anoichi, you want to really have Anoichi, you have to bring out your own guts into the story. You have to bring out your Egyptian kite. It's a beautiful thing. It's incredible. By serving God only in a rational manner, we're only capable of connecting and receiving Elokecha. By serving God in a super rational manner, then we're capable of Yud Kei Vav Kei. But essence is even higher than super rational. Essence is the real me and the real Hashem, right? The lesson is clear. We cannot make do by only involving ourselves in personal matters of holiness. We must occupy ourselves in sanctifying the world as well, transforming the world into a receptacle for holiness. Right? We have to know Hashem in all of our ways. All of our ways. Which I heard once from Rav, what's his name? The Englishman who's a Talmud of Rav Chaim Kramer. I'm talking about Rav Jonathan Rietti. He said in the name of the Arizal that B'chol drachecha de'ehu, which the Gemara says is a parsha ktana shekol gufei Torah ktulim ba. It's like one, in all of your ways, know Hashem is like one, like three, basically three b'chol, three words that also contain the whole Torah, the whole essence of what it means to. So he said, the Arizal says, B'chol drachecha was Rosh Tevas. The first letters are badad, which is Hitbodedut, to go be on your own, and the last three letters of is lamed chaf vav 2:26. Lamed is the suf is the preposition to le, and then chavav is 26 is gematria Hashem Yud Kei Vav. So badad Hashem, that's everything, and there his Hitbodedut should be bechol drachecha, all of our way, with the Egyptian, with everything. I think about. And one more source is Bava Basra. Here we go, Bava Basra Kuf Chaf Aleph. We're in Sefer Bamidbar now. One of the heavy things about Bamidbar is what the Gemara says, Amar Mar. Ajalo Kalu Mese Midbar. Right? Remember, there was the sin of the spies. It's going to be a few parshas from now. And God said, right, everyone age 20 to 60, right, everyone's going to pass away before going, except for Yeshua and Kalev and the women who didn't participate.
Mummies.
Gewalt, all the mommies. Until they all died out. Lo haya dibor im Moshe. Hashem did not speak to Moshe. A very long time, right? It's like 38 years or something like that. Yes. We've gone through a lot. No talking. שנאמר והיה כאשר תמו כל אנשי עבר למות בקרב העם וסמיך וידבר השם אלי לאמור. As Moshe Rabbeinu told Am Yisrael in Devarim, Perek Bet, that, and it was when the people stopped dying that then Hashem spoke to me, right? And says the Rashbam, an incredible thing. What does it mean there was no dibur? There's a big kasha on this, all the way till the end, till right before going in. Pe, it means pe el pe, it means mouth to mouth dibur. Not that Hashem has a physical mouth, but right, pe el pe, kivatchila, like it had been. Avalim hutzrechu dibur, if they needed some dibur, could go in b'maisa de Korach, like in the whole story of Korach. There's all this back and forth. Hashem's telling Moshe things to do, and etc. Shaya char ma'aseh meraglim, that happened in between. It happened during those 38 years. Hayam edaber al yidei malach or be'urim v'tumim. So says the first pshat is Moshe didn't get direct nevuah. It came through an angel, or it came through the urim v'tumim, the stones, the gemstones with the letters of the shvatim. Inami, and this is what I want to focus on, the second pshat of the Rashbam. Or lo hayam edaber imo al yidei tzorech ma'aseh hatzarich lahem. Or you could say, yeah, Hashem did speak to Moshe, but it was necessary, and that's not called talking. That's called nisiyached hadibur Moshe. Talking that's only functional is not called talking. Deepest of the deep, right? The dibur wasn't with Moshe. Oh, but wait a minute, there was dibur, yeah, but that was all just functional, practical matters. It's like it could be between people. Like we don't talk, okay. But I saw you two talking, yeah, because there was a practical matter that had been, but we're not talking, But you were talking, but yeah, but you're not talking. It's called you're not talking, but you were talking, but that's not called talking, right? This is a deep, deep thing. How much of our Hitbodedut is things that we just think we have to say, and how much of it is that we're just talking.
That's called small talk.
That's called like small talk, but it's big, right? That's called mama lashon, right? It's made me think of this amazing Rashbam. Rabbeinu Gershom also says something about it.
Rabbi Hunter, could you speak a little clearer or louder? I'm having a problem hearing.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, we're pretty much, I'm not finding Rashbam. We're pretty much done. Questions, thoughts?
Just to clarify that last piece that you just explained, did you mean that Moshe and HaKadosh Baruch Hu were less close or more close during the time of the 38 years?
Less close.
Less close. Okay.
Yeah.
But when it came to the like the needs of Klal Yisrael, then it was not considered talking.
If there was something practical, so then Hashem would talk. But that's not called dibur. Very beautiful. It's not called really true communicating. Amazing.
A bracha for Shavuos, for
Yesod. We should be blessed to go to bring our Egypt in, into these Hitbodedut, and to know Hashem is talking to us in our language too, and He's talking to us in that language. Yeah.